so I can keep going, or not. Everything's fine. Okay, so in the process of being down, all I did was push statues and pick up a token and a bazooka. Y'all didn't miss very much. So, yeah. Sorry about that brief thing. You missed a couple of really boring sections, though. Nothing important. Okay, so one other thing I didn't mention is health and enemies. Both Leon and Claire have 200 health. And anytime your health goes below 100, you go into caution, which makes you slower. So the whole thing you want to do is just try to avoid taking damage just so you don't go into caution. That's the biggest problem if you go into it. Not just the risk of dying, but more just your mobility gets kind of snuffed. Alright, and we're going to do a minor RNG manipulation here by shooting him. That pretty much 98% of the time guarantees that he won't grab us. Let me just dodge those hands real quick. That's not what I meant to do. Whoops. That was just bad movement, whatever. I'm not worried about it. Alright, so... yeah, the main thing about the whole health and damage thing is that... I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up for safety. It's a first aid spray, just because I took more damage than I really wanted to. Oh shoot, I just messed up. I need to go put some things away back. This whole pausing mid-run when the stream went down and having to do backup strats is throwing me off, sorry. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and put this token in this statue, because this gives us the first major key. I'm also gonna equip the bazooka. We're not going to use the bazooka for combat. That's not the reason why we're equipping it. The reason we're equipping it is because it will allow me to basically always get past this licker in this hallway. Something about how Claire's hitbox changes manipulates its AI so that he isn't ever going to attack me unless I run into him deliberately. So anyway. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this item up here. This is the crank, I believe. But this hallway we're going through, this is the second time we're going through it. We have to go through the green hallway 3 times. Just the most convenient way to get everything we need. The way this is routed is just based around what items we need to pick up at what times, where it's convenient to put in the inventory and stuff like that. Alrighty. And the fun thing about Resident Evil 2 is a lot of the dodges in this game that look really, really easy are pretty complicated, but the ones that look kind of tricky are actually really easy to pull off and really consistent. Alrighty, so that's a child. That's a child that's very important to this scenario. That's Sherry Birkin. And she's not gonna do much now, but she's gonna play a pivotal role for the second half of the game, and it's not a fun pivotal role either. Because part of the second half of the game turns into an escort mission.
Claire, you made it!
Yeah. Have you seen a little girl around here?
Yeah, you just missed her. Who is she?
I don't know. But it's too dangerous for her to stay here alone. Leon, I'll go look for her. You go and find us a way out of here.
Of course. But before I forget, here's a radio. That way we can keep in touch if something comes up.
Alrighty, so, yeah, that's Leon, by the way. He's the other character. I do want to mention that the person who does the voice acting for Claire, I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but she ended up being Claire's voice actor for other Resident Evil games because she basically improved on the role. Like, her voice matched the character well, but the voice acting got progressively better over time. And she's also the same person that voices Rogue in the animated X-Men series from the 90s, which is pretty cool. She's done a couple of other things, but I think that's probably the one I recognize the most. Alrighty, so coming up here is a really spooky jump scare. Don't panic. Gotta watch out for the birds. Alrighty, so coming up here is a very particular dodge. I'm gonna hopefully not screw it up. There we go. Basically just need to make a really sharp turn there and not accidentally run into any of the zombies. The female zombies, by the way, we nicknamed Misty because she looks like, you know, the Pokemon trainer Misty. And the guy near her is Misty's boyfriend. Alright, sweet. That dodge right there on the way back is a lot trickier because of how far back the camera is. Alrighty. So we picked up a valve in a random, like, room in the police station. This valve is going to be extremely useful for a good chunk of the game. And by that I mean there's, like, only a few practical uses of it, and one of them is in a really obscure part of the map. But yeah, we just put out that fire in that helicopter that just crashed into the side of the building. That helicopter crashing is explained in the B scenario. It's like they accidentally shoot it down or something stupid like that. Alrighty. So now that the fire is gone from this helicopter, we can just go into this room here. Also like to point out how the, you know, helicopter crashing into the building didn't do nearly as much collateral damage as it probably should have. Alright, that was a little bit sloppy. One thing with inventory I didn't really mention is that there are kind of like keystroking shortcuts you can take on the inventory. By pressing buttons in a specific way, you can basically get to certain spots on the inventory a little faster than doing it manually. That's just kind of how the game registers inputs. It's a little bit weird. So casually it can be frustrating, but once you understand how it works, it can make menu navigating a lot easier. Alright, so we're gonna go downstairs, and we're gonna pass through the green hallway for the third and final time. So we're gonna dodge this liquor in the hallway one more time. I should also mention that you have to dodge this liquor with Leon as well, but you don't have the bazooka, so your hitbox is normal. So you have to dodge him a different way, which is a little trickier. But it's still really consistent. It's just easier with Claire because of how the bazooka works out. So we're gonna go into this room because we have to pick up another red jewel. We picked up one earlier and placed it in another room. It's a little bit sloppy. My inventory is a little different because I picked up that first aid spray, but I'd rather have it for safety. Oh yeah, so I know I haven't really been shooting that much, and that's honestly just because how Resident Evil is in this, or at least the earlier ones are. But I will make up for it later, because the only shots we really fire, other than a few pistol shots at the beginning, are all shots that explode, which is pretty cool. Alright, time for a really particular dodge here. You gotta time this very carefully, otherwise things go downhill really quickly. Also, my health is good. No. Oh yeah, that's Will Smith again. He's a little looks like he's looking a little funny. Sorry, I'm slurring a bit. Alright, so we just need to grab this and sneak past him, but we had the fast Will Smith. This is the worst thing that can happen here. But there's nothing I can do if it happens. Alright, I just kinda sucks that I had to waste my first aid spray there rather than somewhere more effective. But it's not that big of a deal. Alrighty. So we're gonna go put that, go put that red jewel in this room and get another key item. The main objective through this police station is we need to be collecting these stone pieces. There's 4 of them. Well, 2 solid ones and 2 half ones. I picked up one of the half ones. We need to get all 3 of the stone pieces in order to progress to the next part of the game. But part of that requires us to blow up this door with the plastic explosive. Alrighty, now here comes another important cutscene, so I'm gonna shut up.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I thought you were another one of those zombies.
Are you Chief Irons?
Yes, that's me. And just who are you? No, don't bother telling me. It makes no difference. You'll end up just like all the others.
I know I said I was going to shut up, but I do want to mention that we can skip door animations in this version of the game, but we can't skip
But I
cutscenes.
failed miserably.
Each version of Resident Evil 2 has kind of a unique difference to it,
True beauty.
and that's what makes the in-game times really incomparable. The only one you can actually skip cutscenes in, as far as I know, is the GameCube version.
And she will turn into a zombie within the hour, like all the others.
There must be some way to stop it.
In a manner of speaking, there is. Either by putting a bullet through her brain, or by decapitating her completely. And to think that taxidermy used to be my hobby. But no longer. Please. I'd really like to be alone now.
Alright, so we're gonna leave him alone, and like I mentioned earlier, there's the little girl, Sherry Birkin. We're about to encounter her. Like, have our first real encounter with her. Once we get into this room. This movement's a little bit tricky, because you ideally want to move into this room and just turn just enough so you can turn that switch like that to turn on the lights, because if you don't turn on the lights, Sherry doesn't exist.
Easy, easy there. I'm not a zombie. You're safe now.
Yeah, Sherry Birkin, you feel bad for her because she's a little kid that's in trouble, but she's
Leon,
really,
hey,
really
I
annoying
found
later
the
on
door,
in the game.
And I've cleared the wreckage that was blocking the corridor.
Got it.
And there's a number of reasons for that. I'll get into each unique scenario when I get there.
Do you know where your parents are?
They both work at the Umbrella Chemical Plant, near the city limits.
The chemical plant? Then, what are you doing here?
My mom called and told me to go to the police station because it was too dangerous to stay at home.
From the look of things, I'd say she was probably right. But it's dangerous here as well. You'd better come with me.
But there's something out there. I don't know what it is, but I saw it. Much larger than any of those zombies. And it's coming after me.
What was that?
That's what I was telling you about. It's here.
Sherry, wait!
Alright, since again this run hasn't exactly been great, I'm going to take another safety precaution here by picking up this first aid spray. We'll have to get rid of it at some point, because at one point in this run, my inventory is going to be completely full. And that's the part of the run that can be scary if things go poorly. But we'll worry about that when we get there.
Chief?
Alright, so we're gonna go to the chief's desk. He left us this beautiful key right here. What a nice guy. But yeah, so they mentioned it in the cutscenes and stuff. Perhaps you might not be familiar with what a Resident Evil game is. Umbrella Corp is the kind of main antagonists of this series. Despite the name, they don't actually produce umbrellas. They produce weapons of biological mass terror. And yeah, we kind of are trying to stop them throughout every Resident Evil game. What am I doing? This is the wrong way? Yeah, I'm going the wrong way. Sorry, I'm blanking out right now. This whole route's been kind of all over the place, so I apologize. Blech. Whatever, that's all I gotta say about it. Just pretend those last like 20 seconds didn't happen. This is clearly not going to be on PB pace by any stretch of the imagination. My main thing is I also ran the Leone scenario a couple shots fired ago, but it went horribly and I died on the very last fight. So my goal is to not have that happen again. Alrighty. So coming up here is a dog. This dog dodge is really weird. And I didn't get it for some odd reason. I practiced this earlier and this never happened, but alright, cool. Alrighty, so now we're gonna go down to the sewers. I think this is a sewer. I don't really know what this area is supposed to be called. We have to go into the save room and out in order to trigger this cutscene here, which has us encountering Sherry again.
I've been looking everywhere for you. I was so worried. We've got to go now, honey, okay? If we stay here, that monster will find us. Let's go.
No, I won't.
What's the matter? Don't you trust me?
It's not that, Claire. It's because of my daddy. He's over there. I heard him call my name. Daddy must have been attacked by the monsters. I have to help him.
Wait, Sherry. Don't go alone. Sherry! Sherry!
Alright, so now we're gonna play as Sherry for a bit. Sherry is a lot slower than Claire is, but that's not the worst thing with her. The worst thing with her is in a puzzle room we have to do, coming up here shortly. Sherry has a really slow climbing animation, and we're gonna have to climb up some stuff when we're done with this puzzle. Basically, all we have to do is align these boxes, because we're going to align them and then fill up the lower part with water. And we're gonna go ahead and climb up this box to get to their side. Oh, she dropped her leg. That's the thing that makes this part really annoying, is that Sherry can randomly drop her leg when she's doing the climb animation, and absolutely nothing you can do can prevent it if it happens. So it's really just a luck-based way to lose time or save it. It's kind of awful. But you don't really lose that much. It may be a couple seconds at the most. So that's one good step. It's 2 good steps. And 3. Alright, so Sherry's being a good girl. She's gonna get, you know, some milk and cookies. You know, assuming she survives the zombie apocalypse at the end. Alrighty. So we're done here. We're gonna go run back to Claire, let her know, you know, the results of what we just did. Oh wow, that was really nice. I almost got bit there. Wouldn't have mattered.
Claire, are you there?
Sherry.
This
are
is
you
so
okay?
far from world record
Did you find
pace.
your dad?
Jesus.
Yes.
I want to mention that I'm honestly not that good
Listen,
at RE2. I still really enjoy running it though. It's one of my favorite games to speedrun.
Here.
I do want to shout out a couple of people in RE2 when I get the chance, because there's a lot of really talented runners of this game. Specifically, 2 in particular that come to mind are runners by the name of Magnoozle and another runner by the name of Dara Zangel. I think that's how his name is pronounced. I could be wrong, I just call him Dara. Both of them are really talented
Wait, Sherry, come back.
and have pushed the times on PC really far down. Alright, so I gotta pick up this key she threw at us. Oh, wrong way. Alright, so there's dogs on the way back up here. I'm gonna try to manipulate one of them in particular by running against this wall. And it didn't work. That's great. That worked literally every time I did it beforehand. Alright, and we're gonna trigger him to jump at us so that we don't take damage. Just by slowing our pace down and facing him directly. Alright, so I'm really hoping this goes well, otherwise I'm going to be in trouble. This next part of the run is probably the scariest part of the run for me, personally, because it's kind of where things can go really badly if just one small mistake happens. We're going to run past all those zombies. There's a really difficult setup you can do to dodge them faster, but it's not worth it. Okay, so I got really unlucky there. There's nothing I can do about that if he grabs me. Just kind of makes these next dodges a little trickier. But what we try to do is run into that wall to manipulate that zombie to turn away from us. But there's still a small chance he can grab us anyways. Alright, and this is a room that I absolutely hate, because there's a licker and we have to hit 3 switches. It's really annoying to try and hit these and dodge this licker. I have no idea where he's gonna go. He's out of my camera view. This is terrible. Alright, sweet. This is gonna work out great for me. Alright, so he did exactly what I wanted him to do, and that was to not hurt me at all. This is gonna make going through the rest of this hallway a lot less stressful. Alright, sweet. Alright, sweet, perfect. That is the scary part of this hallway, because now my inventory is full. So what that means is that I cannot pick up a healing item at all, and it's going to be that way for a few different rooms. So you don't want to screw up that room at all, because there's a really huge penalty for your health and your movement if you do screw it up. You're not supposed to hit me when I do that. Nice. That's great. There's a lot of really cool things going on today. Alright, so that is a bunch of zombies coming in. There's a couple of wires you can connect to put shutters on those windows, but it's really not useful at all in this run. Because you never go back down through those hallways again. It's more important for when you're setting up for the B scenario. Alright, so normally you would want to try and trigger him to jump, but I'm just going to take the damage because I have enough health. Because if you get hit by a licker jumping attack, it does like 100 damage, so your health will go down really far if you get hit by it. So I don't want to take that risk. Alright. I also have to apologize if the keyboard mashing is loud. I use blue switches. But I prefer to play keyboard on Resident Evil. It lets me have better control of my character. But not complete control over the game. Alright, so we're going to try to manipulate the licker here to move a specific way so that we can dodge him. He didn't do exactly what I wanted, but I still dodged it, so that's fine. Just gonna go pick up a book over there. Or not. Alright, so this puzzle is kind of tricky. It's not tricky, it's actually a really easy puzzle, but doing it fast is kind of annoying. Because you want to try and get to this hallway before the camera transitions. Or before, what am I trying to say here? You want to try and get the camera transition in that room before the puzzle finishes and opens up the thing with the piece in it. Alright, again, I'm just going to take the damage here. I don't want to take any risks. Oh my god, that almost hit me. That was bad. I can tell the color. Alright, so we're going to go back into this room where Chief Irons is, because now we have all the stone pieces we need to get to the next part of the game, and we're about to leave the police station. for a life beyond the walls of Raccoon City.
I'm glad to see you're safe, Claire.
So we're just gonna put all these pieces in. There we go. Oh, so, we have still not fired a single shot, but we're going to change that relatively soon because we're going to encounter our first boss fight soon. After a cutscene. The trick with the main weapon Claire uses that's in this one, because the weapons are different between Leon and Claire. Claire has a bazooka, and the bazooka has 3 different ammunition types that you can pick up. You have the standard explosive rounds, acid rounds, and fire rounds, and we're going to use all 3 of them throughout the run, mostly for boss fights. Also, if you ever like read the game, like the different files and like story elements in the game, Chief Irons is actually a really screwed up guy.
Bad girl.
Like basically, he said he was into taxidermy. He kind of wants to take the mayor's daughter and turn her body into like
Calm down, Chief.
a living doll. It's kind of disturbing.
Shut up! You couldn't possibly understand what's happened. Those monsters from Umbrella have destroyed my beautiful town. How could they do that to me after everything I've done for them?
So it's true. You have been working with Umbrella. Then you must know about the G-Virus. What is it? Tell me!
If you must know, it's the agent that can turn humans into the ultimate bioweapons. Superior to the T-Virus in every way. Dr. William Birkin is the genius behind the project.
William Birkin.
I'm sure you've already seen his little girl running around here somewhere. Sherry, isn't it? In case you haven't already figured it out. The monster that's been tearing my precinct apart is yet another product of the G-Virus. An ultimate bioweapon. Umbrella must be trying to cover its tracks. But if I have to go, I'm going to take you with me.
Here it comes.
My chest can't take the pain.
Alright, so we're gonna pick up these acid rounds. We're gonna need them for the boss fight coming up. These are the 6 acid rounds we're gonna pick up. We're going to use all 6 of them in the game. Hopefully we only use 5 here. There's a little bit of RNG that will determine if we can use 5 or 6. Because it only takes 5 to kill him, but there's one little larva he's gonna spit at us that could jump in front of one of them. We don't want that to happen. Alright, sweet, that went perfect. So we only used 5 and we didn't take any damage from the larva, that's great. So that was the G, like, mutant or the G embryo, whatever you want to call it. It's a horrifying boss and I can't wait to see it in the remake. By the way, this game is eventually going to get a remake. It's in, like, production now, I guess, but, or was it been announced anyways? This is actually my favorite Resident Evil game, so I'm looking forward to that.
You came back!
I can't believe the man who developed the G-Virus is actually her father.
What's wrong, Claire?
It's nothing. But I think I found a way out of here. We should be able to find someplace safe if we can just make it out of town.
But...
Don't worry, I'll protect
Anyways,
you.
it's good that we
Promise.
don't use all 6 acid rounds on that boss fight, though, because we do want to use one of them for another encounter coming up. It's more convenient than having to
Leon,
use another
still
ammo
there?
type.
We're leaving.
Are you crazy? The streets are still crawling with zombies.
It'll be all right, trust me. We found a way to the sewer. Follow us later.
Claire! Claire! Wait, wait!
Alrighty, so we're gonna go down to the sewers. I'm gonna go back to this area right here. Except this time we have Sherry off. This is the part of the game that I don't like with Sherry, where we have to basically escort her. So Sherry's slower than we are. And if Sherry falls too far behind, she starts to, like, sit on the ground and just kind of pout. Because she's scared, which makes complete sense, honestly, given everything that's going on. So basically we have to move and slow down a little bit every few steps so that she can catch up to us without her going down, because otherwise we have to go back there, we have to go next to her, she needs to get back up, and it's really, really slow.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Claire? Run!
About a house, Jesus, that's where Resident Evil 1 is. This game isn't about, you know, a house. It's about escaping from a city that's like a zombie-infested version of Detroit.
Sherry! Claire! I'm here!
Anyway, so now we're gonna control Sherry again. This is the only other time we control Sherry. And she drops her leg. What a bitch. Anyways. This encounter is really short, but there's one round in particular with her that's just annoying, which is this one coming up after here. I'm gonna sneak through this ventilation shaft. And there is a bunch of bugs in here. And if we don't get hit by one of them, that's awesome. But we were unlucky. Because if one of us gets hit, one of them hits us, it's a matter of just luck as to how many other ones are gonna hit us afterwards. It doesn't take away any health, but it does slow us down a substantial amount.
Claire? Oh.
So yeah, Sherry just fell down a chute of garbage and is somehow still alive. Alright, and that was Birkin, by the way, William Birkin, kind of main monster in this game. And now that we're in, like, the sewer part, we're going to encounter another key character who is in both Claire and Leon's stories. Or not yet. Soon, though. Soon. We gotta get through this part. These are giant spiders, by the way. If anyone's got arachnophobia, I'm so sorry. This is just... it's part of the game. We can get through it together. But those spiders are just super easy to get around. They are not really a threat at all. But you do have to be careful, because if they spit on you, you get poisoned, and being poisoned is just awful.
Who are you? Oh, I see. Another spy sent by Umbrella, right? Let me guess. You're here to steal my husband's G-Virus, aren't you? You are delicious, I'll give you that.
Husband? Then you must be Annette. Sherry's mother?
What?
Sherry's wandering around alone in the sewers. You have to help me find her.
That's impossible. I told her to go to the police station. What's she doing here? William will be after her.
William?
That's right. The creature that's been causing all this destruction is none other than my own husband.
I also love how Annette likes to think that she's intimidating with that pistol when
So those rats were
Was
the
it,
carriers of the virus?
Claire has a fully loaded
As a result of
explosive
the
launching
virus-induced
firearm in her
transmutation,
right arm.
William
Or
should
right
have
hand,
lost
sorry,
the entire
jeez.
memories he had as a human by now.
Just imagine if she had an explosive cannon on her right arm. It's almost like she'd be Mega Man or something.
But
And that's not even the entire story. Every G-Virus bioweapon, including William, has the ability to implant embryos into other life forms. That's why he's after Sherry.
What are you trying to say?
The bodies of individuals with non-related genetic coding are likely to reject the embryo. But since Sherry is his daughter, that possibility is non-existent. It's an inherent survival instinct.
It's Sherry.
God damn it, Captain
You
Glover.
go that way.
Alright, so remember that valve we picked up in the police station in a really random corner of the police station in some room outside? Yeah, we're gonna use it here. It conveniently fits in this spot in the sewer. And somebody just left it in like a random place in the police station. That's really nice. But we have to use this again here to raise the bridge up. It saves time because after we encounter our next boss, we actually have to walk across this bridge. So it's more convenient to do it here when it's not, you know, gonna waste time. And that's fire rounds we just picked up. The fire rounds are going to be very useful for the last, like, quarter of the game. So we're gonna end up picking up a lot of them.
Sherry!
Alright, yeah, that's just a gigantic alligator. I think it's an alligator. I don't know if it's an alligator or a crocodile. The poly count kind of makes it hard to figure that out. But we just need to kind of lure him over here. You can just admire these good animations right here. And then boom, we're gonna blow off the entire upper half of his head and nothing else. The lower half is fine, don't worry about it. Yeah, as I like to refer to it as the interior crocodile alligator. That's what my split name is for that section.
My stomach. It hurts.
Don't worry. You'll be fine. Come on. Let's go.
Alright, so we gotta pick up this token. There's 2 of them we gotta pick up. They have a really interesting use. Alright, so now we have to escort Sherry again. This part is probably the most unenjoyable section with Sherry. We're gonna try and intentionally get her to fall behind here because it's just convenient. As you can see, she just kind of crouched and started whimpering. So we're gonna come back here to make her move again. She's gonna start moving in a really weird way. Sherry, what the hell? Okay. Yeah, that's another thing. She kind of moves in really bizarre and inconvenient ways. We're gonna go ahead and load up the bazooka with flame rounds, because we'll use them soon. Oh, yeah, and she's gonna again just move that way, because that's convenient. That's, you know, the smart thing to do. There's not really a whole lot going here, it's just getting through the rest of the sewer. Not a terribly complicated thing. Also, the zombies won't ever grab Sherry. They can't do that. All they do is vomit on her, which is kind of disgusting. But yeah, we're going to use these tokens in the most traditional way. We're going to use them to operate sewer machinery. I don't know about you, but this was my favorite game at Chuck E. Cheese when I was a kid. Also, I should mention, the main reason we don't want Sherry to fall behind isn't just because, you know, it's inconvenient, but if we don't have her behind us and moving, we can't actually get out of a room or open a door. So that's the main reason we don't want Sherry to fall behind. It's because of that. Alrighty. So now we're going to this room. This is going to be the first place where we use the flame round. against this guy, just to get him out of the way. In this next room, we're gonna try and dodge 2 zombies with Sherry trailing behind us. The nice thing is that this... Oh, that's not good. I screwed up the second one, that's fine. Zombies will try and vomit on you if Sherry's nearby, because again, they can't really grab her. Alright, we're gonna pick up all this ammo, and I'm also gonna pick up this first aid spray because my health is almost in caution. It's not good. I'm not gonna need it for this upcoming boss fight because this boss fight is really, really easy. As a matter of fact, I would say it's probably the easiest boss fight in the game next to the alligator. Also, you can see Sherry's kind of struggling there. But we need to get this thing underground, and the only way we can do that is with this key. There's also conveniently, you know, explosive flaming ammunition there, too. Alright. So we're gonna add this to our bazooka because, the bazooka doesn't have a clip size. You can basically put as much of one ammo type in there as you can at once. Whereas, like, pistols and the magnums and other weapons have to be reloaded.
Claire,
And we're going down, and we're gonna have, like I said, one of...
stomach hurts.
Actually, like I said, the easiest boss fight in the game.
Hang in there, Sherry. Her forehead's burning up. I've got to hurry before the embryos pupate.
I don't know of anybody who's done, like, the quad route, but I know some people who have done the A and then B route back to back. Alright, so... What am I doing? Okay, I gotta get up here. We're gonna fight our boss. This is Birkin. He's about to undergo a very painful transformation. Alrighty, we're just gonna run to this corner. And we're gonna unload. There we go. That was an easy fight. Yeah, if you just stand there and hold fire in that position, you will just shoot him enough times and he won't be able to get close enough to do any damage. It's the easiest and safest boss setup in this entire route, honestly. That boss fight's a little bit trickier if you play as Leon because you need to quick shoot. Like, perfectly. But yeah, we're starting to make up for the lack of shots that have been fired. There's a lot more shots fired in the later half of this later half of the game than there is in the beginning.
Claire?
Oh, you're finally awake.
Isn't this...
That's okay. You keep it. I'm sure it'll keep you safe.
Thank you, Claire. Even though I'm an only child, neither of my parents ever spent much time with me because of their work. I grew up alone. But now that you're with me, I finally have someone to rely on.
This part's really sad.
Sherry. Rest here for a bit. I'll be right back, as soon as I found the antidote for you.
Alright, so we're gonna drop off something here, just for extra inventory space. And we're going into the laboratory. This is the last major part of the game. Now, first thing we need to do is power it up, which requires us to go into this area right here. And we're gonna just pick up this again. I don't really need this, but like I said, this run's not been going well for a lot of parts, so I'd rather play it safe. Be a big heckin' weenie. I didn't want to do that, but that's okay. Now we have full health again. Yay. That's not a big deal. I want to have good health going into a room coming up anyways, because there's one room that's coming up that's just the worst room in the entire game for both Clara and Leone. It's funny because you guys are mentioning best endings. In the first Resident Evil game, there's actually a good and a bad ending for each character. In the A and B scenarios for both characters, there's only one ending each. Alrighty, so coming up here is enemies that are real pushovers. You just literally run right through them. Don't run directly at them because they do a lot of damage and it takes forever to get out of their grip. But yeah, this room right here is awful and we have to go through it twice. There's a bunch of lickers. They're all out for blood and we got the dodge. That's the scary part. Thank God we didn't get hit by that. That went pretty good. Ideally, if you do the movement perfect, you won't take any damage, and that licker will jump at you and you can dodge him, but I'll take a scratch over getting hit by the jumping attack, because that's devastating. The way back is a little bit more intimidating, though. It has a higher potential to have a domino effect if it goes badly. I'm gonna just pick up this card real quick. Ignore these zombies. Oh yeah, I should also mention there's a hard difficulty in this game, and the zombies actually do more damage and are faster with their reactions. I'm playing this on normal difficulty. There's also an easy difficulty, but I've never played it on that because I'm not a casual. But hard difficulty requires a couple of different strats because a lot of these dodges won't work.
No one will take it from me. This is the most significant piece of research my husband has ever left in my hands.
Stop it! Sherry's in serious trouble. William implanted her with his embryos. There's no telling when they'll pupate. And if that happens, then Sherry won't.
What? William. William. You're alive.
Alright, so Annette just made the stupidest decision of her life, and she's gonna regret it while she's lying in a pool of her own blood. But conveniently, she's gonna give us something that she had on hand.
He's getting stronger with each skin he casts
Which is
off.
really, really nice.
Sherry!
Tell me what I need to know. How can I save Sherry?
You'll see right here, she has the antidote to the
Need to know to prepare
parasite that's inside of Sherry. She conveniently had on her the whole time, and it's not soaked in blood or torn up, which is really lucky, actually. You can never really ask for that kind of luck in real life.
Tell her I love her. Sherry.
Annette!
The self-destruct sequence has been activated. Repeat, the self-destruct sequence has been activated. This sequence may not be aborted. All employees proceed to the emergency car at the bottom platform.
Alrighty. And now it's time for kind of like the last major section of the game. The building has been set to self-destruct, and that's never explained why it happens. If you play the B scenario, it does. B scenario kind of just fills in a lot of the plot holes in the A scenario through the perspective of the other character.
Leon, you made it.
Claire, is that you? Where are you?
I can see you on the monitor. But never mind that right now. Leon, you have to go back and get Sherry for me. I left her in the security office. Please, you must save her.
Wait a second. What are you gonna do? Where are you going?
I still have a few loose ends to take care of. I'm counting on you.
Alrighty. So now we gotta go through this room again. This is, again, just kind of awful. Oh, I fucking missed. That's not good. Alright, so the second half went okay, but geez, that was awful. That way back is just so intimidating. And that's an example of something that can just go horribly wrong if you don't set it up properly. Alright, this is probably another really easy dodge. Just run right around him. Alright, so that was intimidating, but we're okay. Alright, so I'm gonna equip the bazooka, pick up these things here. Need this ammo for the boss fight, and I also need this for... it's a key item. Now we're gonna pretty much use most of our flame ammo in this room. Should take care of all these enemies. It's just the easiest way to deal with all of them. This section's a little bit rough because some of these zombies will just sometimes not die completely and they'll bite my leg, and it's really hard to tell if they're going to. Mainly because of the camera angles. If they're laying face down, they're probably going to bite you, and they're not fully dead, so you gotta be careful. So if they like do it in a really awkward position, you can kind of get screwed over. What am I doing? Come on. Alright. So you got a couple more things before we get to the final boss fight. I don't want to run that way, Jesus Christ. Alright, so this is this room again, but luckily the lickers aren't there. Instead there's just a bunch of naked zombies. Alright, we're just gonna run past... oh no, we're not! We're gonna take the bite. Alright, that's fine too. Okay, that's not good. That's never really happened. Alright, cool. My movement was terrible there. Wonderful. Alright, so I'm gonna play this last section really, really safe and really slow because I didn't expect that to happen because it never usually does. But whatever. God, that's annoying. I can't believe that just happened. But I should mention that the normal zombies only do 30 damage when they bite you. The naked zombies do like 45 damage, and that's why you don't want to get grabbed by them. Alright. Yeah, this isn't particularly gone well. I think, yeah, I'm gonna do something somewhat safe here. That's not what I wanted. Wait, do I have enough room for it? Yeah, I can. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pick up this red herb. Red herbs are something you don't normally pick up because they're out of the way. But if you combine with a green herb, you get the same effect as a first aid spray. So I'm gonna go get a green herb real quick. Since I have enough flame rounds, I can deal with the zombies here instead of having to bother dodging them. But I mean, this has just been going so poorly, I just need to... okay. Cool. I just need to play it safe. There we go. It's important to have backup options in case things go bad. I just want to be able to finish the run, really. Because like I said, last shots right I did this, I died. That was pretty fucking bad.
5 minutes until detonation.
Alright. So now coming up on the final boss, there's 2 phases to the final boss fight. The first one's not bad, but if you don't do it fast enough, you'll get hit. The second phase is the part that's concerning because if you're not careful, he can kill you almost instantly. That's not good. Come on. Alright, so this is gonna screw up his AI pattern, so I gotta be really, really careful here. So what I needed to do was quick shoot all my bazooka rounds, and I messed up the timing on the quick shooting. Basically, it just requires you to... I'll explain it in a second. I don't want to die here. Come on, please, don't go there. Alright, this is kind of okay. I can't see where he is, shit. Alright, so that was a terrible boss fight. That was really bad. Ideally, what you want to do is shoot him fast enough so that he sets up for a specific AI pattern, where he'll jump back and forth on the top of those chemical tanks. But if he's not in the right position, he just kind of goes all over the place, which is unfortunate, but whatever. At least he's dead. But time's coming up soon. I'll let you know when to hit it. This run was a mess. Like, whatever, though. And time. Come on, baby. Alright, so now the important thing is seeing what the endgame time was, because it's what it goes by. This had no potential to be a PB whatsoever, but I still want to know what it was. Oh, 58, that's so bad. Like, I'm not that good at this category, admittedly, but that's even bad for my standards. But yeah, that run was a little bit messy, mainly because of the whole stream dropping thing on Mixer's end, but hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I want to get a better time in Claire eventually. It's kind of like my focus with this game, along with some other things, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and there's other Resident Evil runs going on throughout the rest of the marathon. Check those out. They're a little more, well, I hate to tell you this, but they're a little more glitchy than Resident Evil 2 is. So hopefully you enjoy that in the rest of the games. Thanks for having me.